Some people think I've lost my way because this year I bought myself a couple of obscure motorcycles, a current model Kawasaki KLR650 Adventure and, most recently, a 2003 BMW GS1150 Adventure. I've hooked straight in and treated my brand new donkey to some cool upgrades. But as for my old Rhino, I'm still chasing a fuel or ignition gremlin that is limiting her true engine performance. Since getting her home, I've started troubleshooting by replacing the fuel pump as well as the fuel injectors.
Welcome back, team. I've got Grabo on board today. This is the first time you've ever had anything to do with an adventure bike of this caliber, the KLR650.
The closest I've probably been to one of these things is driving down a freeway and passing one in my van when I was driving over here. That'd be about it.
What does it come to? You and I are out here on a couple of simple, underrated adventure bikes. No, look, anyway, you've all been hanging out for an update on the donkey. When I fell in love with it riding across Australia, sure, they're pretty good out of the box for what you want to do with them, but the whole purpose of this project is just to set it up to exactly how I like it and basically better the platform that Kawasaki have already built. The weak part of this whole setup was the rear shock, because by the time you've got all your fuel, food, luggage, water, you name it, that was now the weakest link of the bike. Sure enough, a mob called Tractive Suspension hit me up. They said, we've got a shock for it. Okay, yeah, send it over. I'd like to try it out. The whole benefit of this shock, as you've seen in the install, it has preload adjustment, beefier spring, and it has an adjustable shock length. Now that's where Grabo comes in, because if there's one person who knows the feel, the dimensions, the handling of a bike, it's Benny. Can I tell them the story about when you won your second 4-day outright, you took that gas and cut and welded the frame to suit your liking because it wasn't right?
Go for it.
Benny did this. You probably laid the foundation for the handling of the very bikes you're riding today.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was by chance, but that Spanish gas I was on, they changed the steering head angle 3 degrees, which I did.
After that?
2 years later.
2 years later?
I don't know. So.
Benny, that was some divine intervention right there. Now look, when you get a bike like the KLR that's based on old school rally heritage, the Tengai, they've done their time in the desert. They're an off-road company. One thing I've noticed, when you've got bikes that are close to the point of good handling, if you affect the length, if you change the length of the shock, you can destroy the handling of the bike. I've ridden it. I think it's in the ballpark. I want to get Benny's assessment. But basically, all it's done is just leveled the big unit out a bit. And I feel between taking as much weight as I can off the back and extending a little bit more ground clearance and shock travel, this is now in, I guess, the best base off-road setup we can get. The other game changer, which I haven't tested yet, I finally got some decent foot pegs for it, actual foot pegs for it, took those rubber things off. And the other game changer is this rally screen, the brackets that we've made up. You saw that in a previous video where just changing that angle to get the screen out of your face off-road, but it just makes it so much more practical at those highway, freeway speeds. It's throwing the wind over your helmet. These are all things I'd like to get Ben's feedback on. You don't, have to take it from me. Another thing I want to bring up, Ben, is whether you're a pro rider or a beginner, there's only really one set formula for a bike's handling when you talk about the ride characteristics and the balance of a bike, right? It's not like because you're a pro, you need the balance of the bike to be like this, and because you're a beginner, it should be like this.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Like, to me, good's good. That's a simple way of putting it.
Look, I've got to bring it up. In a recent video, I pretty much offended every Husky 701 rider on the planet, right? And sure, there's a million fantastic reviews of that bike and the 690s and blah blah blah, right? But to me, no one's pointing out the obvious, which is they're engineered out of balance by having all that fuel behind the rider. Do you want to say anything about that?
I tell most people I'm not a fan of that bike either. Like, it's got its place. Like, there's plenty of bikes out there that every brand has a model that I probably am not a fan of, and I'm not like KTM/Husky have plenty of other models I love, but
Yep.
yeah, I don't gel with that one, probably for the same reasons that you don't.
If you have a moment on a conventional bike that's weighted like an arrow, they will find their center and correct themselves. Whereas a bike that's out of balance, be it by a fuel tank or too much weight to the rear, they are very much a handful. They're working against you when you're trying to ride fast safely, right? So my whole point of setup with any bike, before you put luggage on, mind you, take as much weight off the rear as I can, get your ground clearance set, and balance the bike as best you can before you start adding luggage. Anyway, we'll talk a bit more about that later. The other Rhino in the room is the GS, and I've since put the injectors in and the fuel pump, as you saw earlier, and I just want to get Grubbo's feedback on what he thinks the Gremlin could be, but we're getting closer. Maybe Benny could shed some light on this thing. And you've never ridden a GS either, have you?
Well, we're talking our first Warhorse Must there last year. I rode some form of GS. Is that
right.
like the very first?
I think
one
it
or
was an
something?
R80 GS. You did.
Yeah.
That's like this 20 years earlier.
So that's my only experience.
Well,
on
it's
a
good
GS.
that you've started from the very base, and now you're taking a 20-year jump. And then who knows, maybe in another project we'll get you on the new 1300. That's like the 300 series Land Cruiser of motorcycles. All right, Benny, let's get into it. Listen to him just KLRing along. He's running a decent pace, as to be expected. It can only mean that he's quite comfortable with the chassis. Look at him go. This has pulled him up. He's going the rugged line. Look at him go. Conquering the downhill. He's sending the big girl. Oh, he loves it. Listen to it. Mate, you're hauling ass on the big unit. I can barely keep up. What's your first impression?
As a weapon, I can see why you love it. Like, generally for me, if I'm going to love or hate a bike, happens straight away, and straight away I gelled with it. Probably the biggest thing is just like the two things that stand out is comfort and torque. Like, it's like it's a monster down low. Like,
Isn't it?
Oh, it's like I can't even hear it. But it's got so much torque.
It's just pulling you, getting it done with it's not fancy, it's just, and we've just gone into some pretty
for the average rider, that's pretty serious, that downhill, uphill.
There'd be carnage there with the Adventure crew through there, so this thing just eats it up.
Eats it up with the stock tyres. But and in terms of the chassis, pretty much throwing everything at you from the ruts and the downhills, it's a good balance like that, isn't it?
Oh, it's an amazing bike. Like I watched your last few videos on this thing crossing through the desert, and I thought, oh, he's pretty excited about it, but I can see why. Like, it's just fun. Like, and for me, it's always about fun. Like, I can ride the flashiest bike, but unless I'm having fun and having that feeling like you do on a bike like this, then it means nothing. So yeah,
it gives you that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that's why I had to have one.
Yeah.
We, you know, you and I both were raised on this old school 90s chassis and engines, and this, even though it's a 25 model, it screams 90s in its performance, doesn't it?
Yeah. Here we go. Like I was saying before, it's crazy impressive the torque this thing has. She may not have a lot of horsepower, but it's got truckloads of torque. And seeing I can talk about Adam because he can't hear me as I'm following him and I'm the only one with the mic, is I think it's pretty damn cool that he is one of the few guys I know out there that does this stuff and gives his honest opinion on what's what and not afraid to upset people. And generally I hate ABS, to be honest. Hang on, we've got a hotline here for the KLR. Generally I hate ABS, but whatever Kawasaki done with this thing, it's not too bad. It's a pretty good combo. Hey.
You know, there's one standout feature on this bike that I reckon you may not have noticed yet, on this rig I'm talking about. You do realise it has ABS.
Mate, you need to reverse what I didn't speak much, but one of my comments there about 3 minutes ago was I'm not a fan of ABS, and I know this has ABS, and whatever algorithm or whatever they got going on,
nailed it.
they've done pretty damn good.
You cannot fault it to the point where they've gone, no, you don't need to switch it off. You can't even turn it off. We're skating through gravel on bald dual sport tyres, and the ABS is just quietly in your favour, isn't it?
No, they've done a good job, because I've had some bad moments on adventure bikes with ABS, and I tested on your grass straight on, I'm like, yes, okay, it's got ABS, be ready for it. And then I kept feeling it out. I'm just like, this thing's not doing the usual scare the hell out of me. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, like at a glance, it probably looks like, what's he talking about? The thing's running fine, doesn't have a problem. That is literally just an 1/8 to 1/4 throttle, maybe glancing off half. They've just got that much torque. You can trail ride with that only. And it doesn't matter how much horsepower you got, as you know. You're not going to use any more than that. But take it down the road
and just feel it out. You'll know straight away as soon as the meat of that power should come on. It doesn't. It breaks down and struggles to rev through the 4 to 5. And to me, I put the new injectors in, I put the new fuel pump in, and all it's done is optimize that first 3000 RPM. It's like, wow, I've fixed it, it's so good. And then as soon as you get to the 4, it's like same issue it had from day one. So there's a gremlin, there's a thing. Take it for a spin, and you'll otherwise see, I hope you see, what a premium motorcycling experience it is.
Yeah.
Or you'll just think Riemann's fucking lost his mind.
He's lost it. Going senile. She hums along pretty sweet down low there. He didn't say to take it in the bush, but I'm going to try it in a little bit of dirt. I've got to get that. Yeah, wow. Like, I can get it to go up top, but exactly what you said. So from 4, I'm sort of there's 2 stories in my head going on, because I've never rode one of these at all in the bush, and the balance, and I can see why he's all rave about him. Like there's something on the dirt that I just felt on this thing that I've never felt on a dirt bike, as in just balance and predictability, and like amazing. Like,
yeah, people don't get it.
No, like there's something there that is extra special. But that aside, yes, from 4 on, to me it's like a rich feeling. It's like a plug's not working.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's starving for fuel. Like it's doing all these different things.
Exactly.
So, but like you said, in the bush down low, what an engine! Like,
isn't it just from 1 to 3
Yeah.
is just bulk powerhouse torque.
I thought I was coming to ride 2 pigs, and like,
You came to ride 2 legends.
yeah, like I don't know which one I want to ride now. They're
People
both.
think I've lost my mind.
No.
I'm actually coming of age and just want nice things in life. Look at Grabo on the Rhino. He just slots into it like it's his own. You know, when you look at it just sitting pretty and traveling like this, you can see why they're such a well-balanced machine. They are just made to suck up huge kilometers, as is the donkey. You know, they have these for 2 totally different bikes. They've both nailed the brief of comfortable, unstoppable, long distance adventurers. Look at Benny getting the full GS experience in the gravel. Gravel whoops at that. Oh, this front tyre is terrible. Let's go. KLR. They're an even match. Look at him go. He loves it. He's blown away by the versatility of the big GS. Oh yeah, just cased a gentle case of the KLR shock. That was a good test. And you know, the adventure models in general, they're pretty well suspended, always have been since the GSA was invented, you know. When I say invented, released. Whoa! Yeah! Grabo's loving it. I'll home in on the lad. I think it's safe to say I have converted. I think it's safe to say I have just added another rider to the global GS community. He can't believe it. He cannot believe the prowess of the Rhino off-road. I think you've just reinforced everything you said about this bike 20 minutes ago. They shouldn't work as good as they do, but they just do, don't they?
It blows me away. Like, you look at them and you look at the engine and just look at the layout and like it looks like a big pig, but just the balance. Like, I can't pinpoint exactly what it is, but it's just the confidence in where both wheels are and that it's not going to step out or do anything nasty.
No, you know, they don't change their wheelbase. Yeah. So because of that telly lever, under brakes the wheelbase stays the same. Yeah. They don't get a wheelbase shortening and a tighter steering angle. They actually extend their steering angle and hold their wheelbase under brakes.
It makes sense because it's got a really stable feeling there that a lot of bikes don't have.
Yeah, especially this big when you push in terrain like that. Yeah, you can see, I knew this phenomenon 20 years ago without even being interested in the bikes.
Once you get this engine right, it should be a sweet ride.
Oh, absolutely. I can't wait. That's why I bought it.
Yeah. Hey!
I hope you're enjoying watching my content, guys. If you are, please like and share this video and hit the subscribe button. I'm on the home straight to 1 million subscribers now. So jump on board and let's get this done.
Yeehaw!
know, to answer your question about the new ones, Benny, they, like, I can't believe it, all the pedigree of that handling formula, they nailed it in this one. The new ones are just more refined.
Yep.
This just still bulldozes through the terrain like a German tank, but all the geometry checks out. It looks, it's just doing dirt-like things, right?
100%. What do we got up here? Bit of a decent looking hill climb. Oh, bit of pea gravel. Oh, we got heaps of honky nuts there. I don't think we got them back in New South Wales. I only learned about them on the Walrus muster the other week.
Two things, Benny. With the Rhino, I'm so much happier. It's been such an emotional roller coaster from picking it up, from the fuel issue to then Ross's crash to getting it back here and still trying to nut out the problem. After having that ride with you and what you think of it, and now I feel like it's just a nothing thing.
Yeah.
It's a glitchy little nothing that's in there. And even with that issue, that's the most fun I've had on this bike.
It was a good day. Like, it surprised me a lot. Like, I'm always interested in riding new bikes, but rocking up, it's pretty ugly.
I know, aren't they? but beauty's in the eye of the beholder, because you think that until you ride it and start to appreciate the qualities. Like, I love the steel tank. It's the reason I went for this bike. A lot of people are asking me, why didn't you get the 1200 or 1250, blah, blah, blah. This is the last of the German warhorses, you know? And as you can see, I feel the reason all the new ones handle so good is because they nailed the handling back on these models.
Yeah.
You felt it.
No, like I said, there was, as soon as I turned off the tar onto the dirt, it's a big bike. Like, so I was expecting it to feel average.
Yeah.
And it done some amazing stuff. Like, just, like I said, it's so sure-footed. Like, I just...
Aren't they?
Yeah.
And they get so much, you know, for a bike that's so popular. Incidentally, the GS is the #1 selling adventure bike of all time, right? They do get, actually, these two models that have such a cult following, get the most prejudice of pretty much every other off-road model out there. The KLRs, for being so gutless and slow and just ridden by average riders, for good reason.
Yep.
And these, for the people who are just hotel hopping one GS after the next. They get like the higher society of touring. But what people are missing, and it's kind of what I wanted to showcase with all of this, is how capable both of these bikes are for good riders that really want to take on the world, let's face it.
Oh, 100%. Like, I'd be happy to go pack our bags and venture off around Australia now. On these two, we could switch each day and I'd be happy.
Exactly. The spectrum is amazing, isn't it? I could sense you didn't want to get off this thing in your analysis of it, trying to understand how they've made such a behemoth with all this wacky engineering work, but it just does. And then the simplicity of the donkey. And I'm amazed, like, we were fairly hooking at the end there.
So, my question, because I know bugger all about these other than today.
Yeah.
Did you name them a donkey, or that's the name that goes with them? Because it's so fitting.
Look at the desert donkey. So obedient.
It's so trustworthy. Like, if we want to just go bash through there to get wherever,
Yeah.
I would trust it to get there.
Yeah.
But there's a few times there when, like, I take it in the stuff, it's like, does a little kick in that, but it always gets back in line. It just goes, hey, maybe you shouldn't be doing that, but it just pulls itself back in line. It is like a donkey to ride, and it's so good.
Mate, exactly what you've said right there is the whole point I was trying to make about the center of balance and the dirt bike formula. There is only one, right? And you can push this to a limit where if you're going too fast for it, it'll give you those little bucks and kicks. It won't just splat you to the ground. It actually starts to, you know, show that, okay, you're at the limit of the suspension here. But in terms of its base ride characteristics, you can't fault that. And even though this has completely different ride characteristics, how they've achieved this kind of predictability, it all comes down to predictability, right?
Yeah.
If you just hop on a new bike, right, we're going riding here, just follow me, keep up, never hit these ruts and downhills before, and you're on bald tires, you have to have full faith in the, you know, the ride characteristics of the bike. And it showed you that within the first 5Ks, didn't it?
That's it. Like I said to you straight away, you either trust the bike or you don't.
Both of them, trustworthy machines from the start. And I think that's their success story in a nutshell. Because for people coming into the dirt bike or just touring games straight up that know nothing about off-road, they don't have to think about any real setup or anything. These things, for the pace they're riding, are safe bikes to ride for the majority, and I think people just naturally gravitate towards them, hence the sales. This is cheap. This is a premium off-road experience. So you've got the spectrum of kind of, you know, off-road riders covered who are just starting out, and that's an important thing. The basic setup. When I say setup, stripping off the extra weight, putting a more capable rear shock in it, putting decent foot pegs on it, and a screen, this bike, from beginner to pro, is ready to throw some luggage on and go on any adventure. We could replicate 2 of these and just go.
Unreal. Yeah.
And we could replicate 2 of these and just go.
I definitely like what you've done here, because you'll see with some of the helmet cam footage, if that screen was back any further, I'd have it in my face when we're doing extreme stuff out there. But
hitting those things
made it so much better for me.
Yeah.
And then the foot pegs, like, they're amazing. And I love what Kawasaki got going on with their little dampeners and that in the foot pegs.
Oh, it's so cool, isn't it? They've got little rubber shockies on the mounting brackets. Like, look at that. Like, you know, 1,000 Ks of outback corrugations. Both of these bikes, you hop off them like you haven't even ridden. Yeah. They don't wear you out. Yeah, it's good because, again, it's like all the hardcore off-roaders of the world are going, he's lost his way. What the hell has he bought? I've bought these with my own money. This isn't Kawasaki's. This is mine, and this is mine. And I wanted them. Of all the selection, of all the bikes I ride, I'm being very critical of practicality, value, and performance. I'm not paying money for anything else. And so it's whittled down to these, what most people see as obscure, when in actual fact, they really are awesome machines. If you're taking on big trips, if you're putting yourself out there in the middle of the desert, you need that trust. You've got to have trust in the bike. Yeah, mate. Awesome. Keen to get this sorted. And this is your bike when you come stay at the farm.
Perfect.
And in fact,
I'll be over more then.
Yeah. In fact, I'll have a set of luggage set up. So when you're next in WA, we'll go do a little camping mission to the coast. Let's put both of them through some really deep sand, like hundreds of Ks of it, fully loaded.
As long as I don't have to carry that one through the ocean.